Happy Labor Day, everyone. Sounds like it's the end of summer. Today is the unofficial end of summer, and it is the end of our summer message series that we called the Summer of Saints. Next week, we'll kick off our fall season. We'll have a special blessing for the kids, and we'll launch a new series called Know Thyself, which is about identity. In that series, we will talk about how we are in the world, but not of the world, and why does that matter? Also, since the beginning of a new series, we think is a great time to invite a friend, so please join us and bring someone along. Over the course of the last 8 weeks, we've met saints like Augustine, Anselm, and Ignatius, who all found emptiness in the vanities of life before their conversion to Christ. We talked about Saint Teresa, who persevered through the hostilities she encountered in her own tribe. We spoke about Saint Bridget, who relentlessly bartered with the pagan king so she could build her convent. And while their stories are diverse, there is one thing which unites them, and that is this: saints are sinners, just like us, who kept trying, who did not give up when they faced adversity, either in the world or in themselves. Today we are focusing on a saint who's one of the most famous and most respected figures of the 20th century, Saint Mother Teresa of Calcutta. In India, she encountered unimaginable, ugly poverty. Her first day in the slums, she gave water to a man dying alone in the street. She wrote, "He was so strangely grateful." And she thought of Christ on the cross saying, "I thirst." And she felt Jesus' thirst for the neglected to receive consolation. But Christianity was not welcome in this Hindu territory, and she was often harassed and accosted on the street. As part of a protest, a Hindu leader once stormed her hospital, intending to remove her. But instead, he saw the loving care that she gave to the emaciated patients. And he returned outside to the protesters, and he said to them, "Unless your mothers and sisters wish to do the work that they do, we cannot evict them." After her death, it was revealed that Mother Teresa, despite her call from Jesus to work with the poor, had decades where she did not feel the presence of God. Decades where she wondered if her work was in vain. The mental suffering she describes in her writings should, in a strange way, provide each of us with a sense of comfort. Even saints experience fear of abandonment, dryness of prayer, and darkness. Teresa's life of devotion did not excuse her from painful mental suffering. Even saints struggle with questions of self-worth, like, am I making a difference? Does what I do matter? Is it worth it? Sometimes we think that, if I have faith, then all of my doubts and problems should go away. Fortunately, though, that's not how it works, because God grows us through struggles and through trials. Mother Teresa didn't avoid her emotions, but she didn't wallow in them either. Instead, she moved forward as she was, channeling God's love into a life of service to the poor. When she received the Nobel Peace Prize in 1979, She said, "It is not enough for us to say, 'I love God,' but I do not love my neighbor." Then she declined the banquet in her honor, requesting that the money be given to the poor. Today's second reading opened with Paul's command, "Owe nothing to anyone except to love one another." For St. Paul and for Saint Teresa, loving is not just an activity that Christians perform. It is a debt that we owe to God for the love that God first gave to us. St. Paul says that for love, it's not simply enough to avoid sin. We read, "You shall not commit adultery, you shall not kill, you shall not steal, you shall not covet." And then Paul continued, "These, and whatever other commandment they may be, are summed up in the saying, 'You shall love your neighbor as yourself.'" For Mother Teresa, suffering wasn't a reason to stop loving. Rather, in her suffering, she felt connected to Christ. We hear so much today about anxiety, depression, and mental suffering taking a toll in society, especially among our young people. Fear, doubt, worry, anxiety, darkness. Saint Teresa's struggle with darkness is a source of hope for us, is a source of hope for you. When you feel alone, isolated, or abandoned by God. In her letters, Saint Teresa wrote, "If I ever become a saint, I will surely be one of darkness. I will continually be absent from heaven to light the light of those in darkness on earth." How can the love and even the darkness of Mother Teresa be a light for you?